Welcome to Insights. I'm Eric. Thanks for stopping by. We're going to do a little bit of, I would consider this to be more of a help video with the Matrix. I've done something like this in the past. I believe that the help grouping might be this link here, or one of these links here might go through what we're going to talk about today in terms of how someone can use the Matrix, how we look to prioritize what we choose and what we're looking at, long or short. It's inside the pull down menu, and we're just going to do a short little video here, a short little exercise in order to rehash some of those topics of comparison. We talked about opportunity costs. If you are looking at a market and you're saying to yourself, I want to, invest in, say, sugar after a reset. Well, let's try and look at a market that here. Crude oil for a reset 3 days ago, R plus 3. It's a late cycle designation. It's got a score of 1.24. The risks of doing that because it's late cycle is crazy. But if you're going to invest here, what is your opportunity cost of another place where you would potentially buy another reset? Is the reset just as extended, or are we looking at something that's would be a better play than putting your money in oil? One of these pull down groupings, we have CT, that's for the composite trend. So if you open up your matrix and you click on that, you're going to see a resort of the entire matrix, and we're going to pull it back to here. It's a sort based on the bull, triple alignment, and anything that's down, double. So it's double up or triple up, and this would be double down or triple down. And now the market is prioritized by the choices that you would want you're trying to make. So we'll go back and try and find crude oil, R plus 3. The composite trend is 1.24. It's easy to see that. What would be the opportunity cost of, say, making another choice of a time frame that was very similar? Say you wanted to buy gold. Gold was R plus 5, or you wanted to buy copper, or you wanted to buy the defense stocks. Now, this is the number that we use to compare different resets. A reset in crude oil is 1.24, whereas the reset in the S&P defense sector, which was 4 days ago, is minus 0.62. So the computer designates this early, and then the computer designates crude oil as late. The fact is those designations are there to warn us that we want to stay away from chasing the reset in oil and focusing rather on the early cycle resets. This would be a good one because the trend is well established. So the defense sector, there's a reset in silver, but it's a flip in progress up, so it's not finalized. There's one in palladium, it's up, it's not finalized. Opportunity would have been gold, or it would have been copper. Also soybeans, but soybeans is mid-cycle, so everything past here is considered mid-cycle. So really the markets that you would want to concentrate on the long side would be, well, you'd probably take out palladium because it's not flipped, silver, and that's it. So you would focus on copper, gold, and the S&P defense sector. The fact is that if the internet or the narrative out there, and I say the majority in general, is focusing, say, on crude oil or wheat or corn, and it's a late cycle and it's way down here, and the composite X bar is painted red, it's done so to warn us that the opportunity costs of chasing these are probably pretty high. And if you're desperate to force a position, you're going to be looking at these entry points up in the early sector. Conversely, we look at the bear cycles in the same way. In anything that's a bear cycle that people tend to be talking about, the bond market, biotechs, they've all been down a long time. You can see their X bars or their composite X bar is they're 1 and they're highlighted red and bolded. Computer is going to score them late cycle. But a more profitable or more, ideal, at least in terms, maybe it's not something that you want to do. We talked about this in the Bitcoin report. Bitcoin's not that easy to short, but it is an early and an X bar of 0.7. The opportunity cost of chasing and forcing a position down in here when everything's red versus playing up in here is much more ideal. Now, the NASDAQ 100 would probably has to be ignored because it's a flip in progress, but any resets that would take place and everything else that's highlighted green. So we'll pull these up and look at this up to the VIX. They're all viable in comparison, and that's where you want to be focusing on. You want to focus on the markets that are early in green on the downside and early in green to the upside. So really this is how we use the CT, or the composite trend sort function, to understand rather than forcing a position. That doesn't mean that you can't hold a position in crude oil as your core position. Obviously it's been up for 13 months and 86%. It's just that any marginal new positions during resets, these carry a lot higher risk, and they're a lot higher than the ones that are up here. And this helps you focus your decision making or focus your money into better probability plays. And in general, the computer is designed to help us identify better probability setups rather than forcing old positions. The fact is you can talk about this theoretically, but the computer just makes it a lot easy to understand by the sort features and really the late cycle setup and what we call this X bar, which is the number scoring system that we see in this column here and in this column there. So I'll sort this back to group, and this is really how you look at the matrix to start, but you pull that down, and if you want to make some better decisions, start to use this CT sort function, and things will start to make more sense. At least you'll start to be able to prioritize your marginal positions. Still probably follow that core position until the primary trend either gets old or flips down or flips up and moves in the opposite direction. But the rest is what you do in between. A lot of times you should watch and just wait and let the cycle of time carry it higher. But at times, other times you can get back into the game during resets, but you have to know which markets to focus on. If you have any questions, let us know. If not, thanks for watching the Matrix help review here on the CT sort function, and we'll talk to you guys real soon.